Hey, good evening, everybody. It's gone 10 o'clock again, nearly. No, it's not quite gone 10 o'clock, actually. It's nearly 10 o'clock here in the UK. I'm doing these scopes pretty late, but I like it. This is a bit wonky, isn't it? Let me just get that a little bit less wonky. That might be a bit better. Yeah, doing these scopes pretty late, but I like doing them pretty late in the UK. I mean, I know people can watch them from all over the place. So it's quite a few people joining us. Good to see. So depending on where you are in the world, it might be in the morning for you or the afternoon, but it's 10 o'clock here in the UK. And I enjoy doing these at night because I've had a whole day of stuff to kind of reflect on now. And the reason that I wanted to do this one tonight is I've been talking to some people today. For those who don't know me, I'm an actor, by the way. My name's Ross. I'm an actor. I'm a voiceover artist as well here in the UK. How are we doing? Tosh? Hi, Tosh. And I have to get dead close, by the way, when I'm reading comments because I'm doing it on my little iPhone, but the camera's so much better. But I'm waiting. My eyes are terrible. I'm just waiting for a how we doing, Ginger? Sup, Ross? Sid's back on. Sid, I'm still having to get dead close to the screen, mate, to read the comments. But I'm just waiting for getting a new iPad. There's a new iPad coming out called the iPad Pro, which is massive. In November, I'm just going to get one of them. It's like 12 inches. It'll just sit huge. Comments will be absolutely massive. We'll be able to see them from space. But yeah, as I say, for those who don't know me, I'm an actor. I'm a voiceover artist as well, and I'm absolutely obsessed with mindset, positive psychology, success, what makes people success, the difference between successful people and massively successful people. And I wanted to talk tonight just about something that was brought up in conversation. Is that you, Tosh? Who's Tosh? I don't know who Tosh is. I wanted to talk about something tonight that's brought up in conversation with a couple of actors that I was talking to today, and they were both telling me that they were getting a little bit disheartened because for the last 3 months or so they've been working really hard in order to kind of get in front of new casting directors and to get new auditions and that kind of thing. And things haven't been going all that well for them. So I was saying, you shave your head today for cancer. Good on you, as in to raise money for cancer. That's a very brave thing to do. I don't know if I'd dare shave my head. I don't know what I'd look like. But they were saying, yeah, that they'd been, working really hard, to try and get somewhere, and things weren't coming across. Get some glasses cheaper than iPads. I know it is. Maybe I should try some glasses. And I was saying to them, look, well, what is it that you've been doing, and have you been doing the same things over and over and over again? And they were going, yeah. So for 3 months, basically, they've had the same tactics that they've been using in order to get somewhere in this industry, and it hasn't been working for 3 months. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, we'll probably just keep plodding on. I'm like going, no, right, within 3 months, if you've not seen any positive change, then something has to change. You can't just keep going on. Wave to Tosh. Are you famous? No, I'm not famous. I wish I was massively famous and rich, but unfortunately not. Working on it though. But yeah, they were saying that they were doing the same thing. I was going, no, you really need to change your focus then. Einstein's definition of insanity is, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you are doing the same thing over and over again and you aren't getting any positive results, then I would suggest that you change your direction a little bit. But here's the great thing, guys, okay? You very often don't need to make any massive changes. Saying this isn't Frozen, what's this about? I have no idea. Hopefully it's not Frozen. It's not Frozen, the cartoon thing anyway. So you don't need to make a massive change in order to get to a very different destination. So let me just give you a little anecdote, okay? Imagine a farmer gets into his... Yeah, it was Einstein who said that. It definitely was. Honestly, Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you imagine a farmer gets in his tractor every morning and he goes out to a field, okay, he drives his tractor in the same journey every single morning. After a few weeks, those tyres of that tractor will have made such big ruts in the mud that there's going to come a day where he can just get into his tractor, put it in gear, and he won't have to steer. He can take his hands off the steering wheel and that tractor will still end up at that same destination that he's been driving to day after day after day. Now, if he puts his hands back on the steering wheel, okay, and just makes like a 5-degree turn, then if he drives for like a minute, okay, he's not going to end up in a very different destination to where he was initially going. But if he does that 5-degree turn and drives for like an hour, then he's going to end up in a very different place to where he was initially going to end up if he hadn't put his hands back on the wheel. So the message kind of for tonight and for this scope is that you don't have to make massive changes in order to end up in somewhere, you know, in a very, very different place. So if what you're doing at the moment in life or in work or your career, if you're an actor or you're a fellow actor, you know, and you're slogging away, trying to get somewhere, but you're just doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, so you're sending the same CV out to casting directors, you're sending the same show reel out to casting directors, the same headshot out to casting directors, you know, you're doing the same formulaic thing over and over again and you're getting nowhere, then you need to just change it up. But don't change it up massively necessarily, just change it up a little. Okay, so start sending a different headshots, rearrange the order of the scenes on your show reel, for instance. Structure your covering email or covering letter to these guys so that it's just ever so slightly different. In marketing, I do a lot of internet marketing through the websites that I run. We do something called A/B split testing. And what that is say for instance I have a product that I want to get out there and I want to sell to people. I might create 2 different sales pages and then I will tell my website to serve those different pages randomly to people. What about if you want to be a porn star? I can't help you with that. I definitely can't help you with that. But I will serve those pages, those sales pages, randomly to visitors who come to the site. Now what I can then do is I can look in the back end which one of those pages is having the most engagement. So which one of those pages is selling more of that product, which one of those pages is getting people to leave their email address, and it'll give me those kind of statistics so I can go, right, out of this A/B split test, A is working better or B is working better, and then that's the one that I then roll with moving forward. So if you're an actor in your career, you might want to start sending out 2 different covering letters, and the one that you get the most responses back from is the one that you then send out to everybody. Don't send the same one as a blanket kind of letter or blanket email to every single person in the industry, because if that's the one that ain't going to work, it's not going to work for anybody. So send 2. You know, at least I wouldn't do more than 2, but yeah, I would send 2 initially. You can always change it up in the future, and just see which one has the best results. Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, the poster is, if you can't see the whole thing, it might look a bit offensive. So it says optimism, pessimism, F that, we're going to make it happen. So basically, yeah, it's about people taking massive action. I'm really big on positive psychology, and I know people, you know, people kind of read, it's getting a bit wonky, innit? People kind of read things like The Secret, you know, the book, and they think to themselves, oh, you know what, if I can manifest these things and I can wish things in the world, and that is, there's a bit of science based in that. I'll give you a little bit of science tonight as well then. I'll stay on for a little bit longer and give you this. So for those who are kind of familiar with books like The Secret, which really revolutionized kind of, you know, the way that the general population kind of think about positive psychology, you know, it was a really big popular book, and it effectively says that if you live your life positively and you imagine good things happening to you, that those things, you will attract those things to you. It's like the law of attraction. I get that, but I don't buy into it. I don't think, for instance, that I can, you know, I can't just wish myself better if I'm ill, or I can't just, you know, just wish for £1 million and expect it to, you know, just appear on my lap. But there is a bit of science behind this. In your brain, there's an area of your brain that's called your reticular activating system. Okay, so it's your RAS for short. Now what that does is that is a filter that filters out lots of distractions in the world. So say we're in a bar or in a coffee shop and we're having a chat, me and you are just having a chat over the table, and there's loads of stuff going on in that coffee shop. There's loads of things that could be distracting us. So we're going to have the baristas making the drinks, all the noises of the machines going off. We're going to have other people having conversations, all this kind of stuff. But you just want to focus on me, and you want to focus on what's going on in our conversation and be present. You know, people say that giving people your time is the most precious gift you can give to people. It isn't at all. Giving people your presence is the most precious gift you can give to people. So if you're out with somebody and you're constantly checking your phone, or your mind's not on what you're talking about, you're not really present. So to try and help you stay present, your reticular activating system filters out all that nonsense so that you can concentrate on what's important to you. Now, if we look back at The Secret, which says you just focus on the things that you want and you'll attract them, what that really does is it tunes your reticular activating system in to those things that you want, so you'll see more opportunity to get them. So if you've ever, for instance, been looking to buy a new car and you might think, right, I want a BMW, when you're driving down the street, you will see BMWs everywhere. They will always have been there. You haven't attracted them to you, but your RAS is tuned into them. I used to like buy a new t-shirt to go out to the bars and stuff like every week when I was much younger. I don't do any of that anymore. But there might be 400 people in that bar. I would spot the one guy in that bar who had the same t-shirt on as me. You know, girls, you might go out in a dress and you spot the other girl in the bar who is wearing the same dress as you. You've not attracted her to you, but your RAS is tuned in to that dress because it's on your mind, it's what you're thinking about. So if it's out there, you're going to see it. So that's kind of the science behind The Secret. What it does is when you're focusing on what you want as opposed to what you don't want, you will see more opportunities to get that thing because you're going to be tuned into it. So that's why it's imperative that you don't focus on the things that you don't want. I ask people what they want out of their life. Sometimes they can't tell me. One thing they can tell me within a split second is what they don't want in their life. So they'll say instantly, oh well, I don't want this, I don't want this job, or I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, or I don't want this stress. But they very often can't tell me what they want because they're not really focusing on it. They're just focusing on all the things in their life that they don't want. And ironically, they're kind of attracting more of that stuff to them because they're just going to see more of it because that's all their RAS is tuned into. So the moral of the story is, yeah, one, tune into the things that you want, focus on those, you know, self-talk as well, the language that you kind of talk to yourself, your inner dialogue, keep that positive. We all tend to we have a bias towards the negativity that's going on in the world and in our minds. So yeah, keep that positive, but yeah, focus on what you want. And then also, yeah, as I said, if you are doing things at the moment and you've been doing it for a while and you're still stuck in that rut like that tractor tyre, make a little shift, get your hands back on the steering wheel. It might only be like a 5-10 degree shift, but if you drive in that direction for long enough, you're going to end up in a miles different destination than you would be if you'd have left your hands off the wheel and you're just kind of on autopilot driving in that rut. So think about that this week and let me know. Hit me up. Give me some hearts if you like it, and yeah, you can tweet me. It's at Ross A Grant, and get involved in the communities that I run as well. If you are an actor watching this, get yourself over to www.actonthis.tv. It's called Act on This to TV Actors Network. It's a community of actors, a couple of thousand actors from the UK and America actually on there as well. I interview famous actors, directors, casting directors, agents. There's articles written by loads of industry professionals on there, and I'm now doing these scopes, which are all, you know, I enjoyed doing the mindset stuff. I'm obsessed with that, so I think the scopes for a while will be on little mind hacks and mindset tips that can just help you kind of get further faster in your life. But yeah, think about those things for this week. I will be back tomorrow, I hope. I'm gonna try and do one of these a day. I couldn't do one yesterday because I was doing a voiceover workshop. I run voiceover workshops as well, and I was running that all day, which is a prime example of somebody actually making a little shift and ending up in a very different destination. There was a student on my voiceover workshop a few weeks back called Ben, and he had hugely limiting beliefs about his potential in the industry, and he was like, oh well, I've got a northern English accent, that might not be needed in the industry, I don't know if my voice sounds any good, all these limiting kind of beliefs about himself. I convinced him to just take a chance, do the workshop with us, and then he enjoyed it so much he got a voice reel made. He wasn't quite sure if his voice reel was going to get him anywhere, but again, I just said, look, you know, you make this little change in this little steer in your mentality and your belief system, get it out to some agents, and he just landed one of the biggest voiceover agents, representation from them, one of the biggest voiceover agents in this country, an agency called Excellent Talent? It's Harry Enfield's voiceover agent and the guy from Big Brother. People in the UK, if you like, the Geordie guy, Marcus Bentley his name is, from Big Brother, he's represented by them. They represent massive people. So he's done really well by making that little shift. Okay, so be the thermostat in your life, don't be the thermometer, okay? Don't just react to the things going on around you, make that little shift, you be the thermostat. And see what destination that takes you to. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll be back with another Periscope pretty soon, and I'll change this poster up as well. So I know they've all had this poster in so far, but I'll change this up for a different one so you can get some different messages. Startupvitamins.com are the place to get these to get these posters from. Sid says, night dude, in Manchester this Friday. Yeah, if you're about, Sid, text us. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got something in the calendar for Friday, but I'll let you know. Get on the forums and answer on this, and post me what you're doing, and we'll try and hook up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.